Major fantasy impacts and our favorite player prop for Thursday Night Football right now on Fantasy Football Today in 5. What's going on? I'm Adam Azer with Dave Richard recording on this Wednesday night. We've got a lot to talk about here. Dave, Aaron Rodgers not going to play this week, may not even play next week, not vaccinated, has COVID. Can you start, if Davante Adams is back, can you start Davante Adams this week against the Chiefs?
You can, but I think you should have number 2 wide receiver expectations for him, even though it's a matchup against the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs don't figure to put a ton of pressure on Jordan Love. I did a lot of watching of Jordan Love today. I don't think he's ready to be even close to the type of quarterback that Aaron Rodgers has been. I think the Packers are probably going to lean on their running backs for this matchup, and it makes perfect sense for them to do so. Adams could end up being a 6 for 60 type of receiver. If he scores on top of that, that's amazing. You should start him, but do so thinking that he's going to perform like a number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah, he was pretty good several years ago when Rodgers went out, and that was with Brett Hundley, and I believe Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb were on the team, and he actually stepped up. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't Davante Adams, the one that we know and love. Odell Beckham. Do you think he's played his last game with the Browns? He was told not to attend practice on Wednesday. You know, his father put something on Instagram that was pretty critical of Baker Mayfield, and they might be headed to divorce here. What do you make of all this?
It's a tricky situation because they've got a lot of money dedicated to him for this year, and if they release him, he's getting that money unless another team picks him up. I don't know what's going to happen. Usually when a player is sent home for more than a couple of days, it's a permanent type thing. And I think it's interesting that this is happening the day after the trade deadline. It's almost like the Browns said, hey, we couldn't trade you. We don't know if there's value in letting you go and signing with another team. You could come back to haunt us. So we're just going to send you home. Let's see what happens. For now, if you've got Beckham on your bench, why? But also, you can't start him at all. And you probably wouldn't even be able to start him if you were practicing this week anyway.
Saquon Barkley is on the reserve COVID list. So Booker's actually been pretty solid, and
he's gotten volume.
Yeah, that's true. What do you make of this situation for the Giants backfield?
I think it's going to be Devontae Booker for another matchup against the Raiders, and I think it's a good matchup for him. I think that he's been playing. Look, it's obvious he's been playing 70+% of the snaps. He's been getting a good amount of work. Looked okay last week, getting 120+ total yards against the Chiefs. I think fantasy managers are going to continue to start him as a number 2 fantasy running back until Saquon Barkley returns.
For any chance we see him this week?
Saquon?
Did I say that? Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you say anybody's name there. My bad. I must have had a technical snafu. I think there's a chance that McCaffrey plays. I'm sure they'd love to have him back. I know that Chuba Hubbard did have a nice stat line last week, but he really hasn't been that great.
Okay, let's get McCaffrey back in there, please.
That would work. And Michael Thomas, everybody knows by now Michael Thomas is done for the year.
Yeah, very disappointing. You got any interest in Marquez Callaway or Saquon Smith?
No, and I've actually started to lose interest in Taysom Hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think people are overlooking that a little bit. It's like, oh, he's just going to be well, Michael Thomas was a pretty big deal for Taysom Hill. He was. He does have to throw the ball a little bit to have fantasy value.
Yeah, we'll see who he throws to.
Look, I still made him top priority for me in my Russell. But yeah, I'm still interested, but it's not as good of a situation, obviously. Okay. What's a good situation for player props for Thursday night Jets and Colts?
Did we hit it last week? I think we got it last week. I think we hit the player prop last week, so we're going for 2 in a row here.
What was the game?
What was the game last week? It was Cardinals-Packers.
Oh, I have no idea what the player prop was. None.
Yeah, I should remember. It was Aaron. You know what it was? It was Aaron Rodgers rushing yards, 58.5, and he had 59.
Aaron Jones?
I said Aaron Rodgers. I meant Aaron Jones.
You went over?
This has been a crappy podcast. Yes, I went over by half a yard, but it's a win. We're taking it.
Win.
And we're going to get another win this week. Same exact thing. Jonathan Taylor, over 107.5 total yards.
My God. Oh, total yards. Okay.
He's had at least that many in 5 straight games. The Jets' run defense isn't very good. The short week is going to help Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, he's a must-start in fantasy. But the only way he doesn't get over this is if he gets hurt, or if he gets pulled in the middle of the third quarter because the Colts are up so big and he has like 102 total yards. I feel very comfortable with this one, over 107.5. And it's minus 110 at Caesars Sportsbook.
Okay. And the Jets give up the most receiving yards to running backs. So hopefully we can get, maybe 30 or 40 cheapies there. For Dave, I'm Adam. Thanks so much for watching and